Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sharon, artist from BC, Canada. In this video, I'm going to talk about my experience setting up my online shop on e-commerce to sell my artwork. And I'll be going over three main platforms and going over the pros and cons and what I ultimately decided on. Hopefully you'll get some information so that you don't have to spend a lot of time looking more into this e-commerce and spend more time on your creative artwork. Okay, so the three platforms that I'll be focusing on will be Shopify, and then I'll also be looking at Ecwid, and then I'll also be looking at the third one is called Squarespace. So I have been using Etsy, or I've tried Etsy in the past, which is fantastic when you can just post your stuff online and you will get charged per listing, and also Etsy will take a percentage of whatever item you sell, and on top of that, if you use their credit card, they will charge a percentage of the fees as well, and I'll provide the percentage fee here for you to see. So over time, you might want to consider opening your own shop and just kind of having more control over your store, and hopefully not have Etsy take a big percentage of your fees from just selling your artwork. So that's where I am now. So I'm considering the three platforms, Shopify, Ecwid, and also Squarespace. So let's go into how I even came about to these three decisions. So there were three things I did to look into what kind of platforms I should consider for e-commerce for artwork. The first one is by going over some of my favorite artists on Instagram and just going to their shop and then scrolling down to the bottom, and you'll see that it will say it's run by Shopify or Squarespace or whatever specific e-commerce website they use or program they use. So that's the first thing I did. So you could try that and check out what your favorite artists are doing. The downside to that is that chances are your favorite artists have a defined style, have a defined audience, and have a pretty big following. So chances are they will use Shopify and some of these bigger e-commerce websites. At least that's what I found. So the second thing I looked into was to ask my audience and poll my audience on my Instagram poll and stories to find out what kind of platform e-commerce they would suggest. And lo and behold, they all chose Shopify. And now that I'm thinking back, it might not have been the best thing to poll the audience, because I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I'm buying things, a lot of times I'm not checking out what kind of e-commerce site they're looking at. I just want to buy whatever art or whatever item or craft and just kind of pay and hopefully get the item. So that's the second thing I did. And the third thing is to Google and just look up YouTube and blogs. And I found this one particular blog that was really helpful. And if you are considering opening your own e-commerce or website to sell your artwork, this is the blog I would suggest looking. So there's going to be so much information on Google, but I will put the link in the bio or description below so you can check out that link, and it has lots of comparisons between different types of e-commerce website, and I found it super helpful. A lot of information, maybe even more information than you need, a lot of details that I'm not super familiar with, but it does provide a lot of good bottom line, so that's something to consider. So ultimately, without giving it's not a big surprise, I did go with Shopify at the end, and I'll go over those three e-commerce websites, and I'll go over the features, prices, and why I ultimately decided on Shopify. Now, if you've gotten this far in the video, if you do consider liking and subscribing to this video, if you like the content I'm doing, that will really help a lot, or sharing with other artists. So here goes my assessment and my review of some of those e-commerce platforms. So number one is Shopify. Shopify is kind of like the big behemoth, like the biggest e-commerce website that people have heard about. There are multiple plans available. They are all paid plans, but they all have a 14-day trial. So in terms of price wise, the lowest plan is around $29 American per month. And if you pay per year or for 2 years, 3 years, you get a discount on top of that. So that's the price associated with it. And they take it around a 2.9% fee for each item that you sell. I think it differs a little bit depending on which kind of transaction, like Visa or whatnot, that you use, but they have a lot of different options for your potential patrons and buyers, so that's a really good thing. In terms of features, I love their templates. It's super pretty and like very professional, lots of options. Just even on your basic plan, if you don't want to pay for their templates, there are some really nice templates that I found that it was easy to navigate through in terms of features, and I like what I came up with. And there's a lot of bells and whistles associated with Shopify. So if you don't feel like you want to add a lot of like pop-up boxes and like start newsletters and like if you don't want to do a lot of automation flows and things like that, you may not want to pay for the extra for Shopify. But one thing I did learn, not until I started like going into the website, is that when you build a Shopify website, you can actually download a lot of apps inside Shopify, which are run by different companies that will help you add features such as product review or email flows and like pop-ups for reminding people to sign up for newsletters, or like coupons, or reminding people about the empty carts. So there's a lot of features, but for a lot of these features you have to download extra apps, which can have some free version or paid version that you have to pay for. So that's just another thing to think about, because some of these apps you have to sign up, remember to log in, learn their platform. So I think it could be a large area that for artists to grow into, but like if you're starting out and you're not looking for a lot of bells and whistles, that might not be something for you. So that's Shopify, and I found that they do have a lot of easy templates for us to put on legal pages or privacy information that you can use, because when you have an e-commerce website, you want to have those legal pages as well. So that is Shopify. And the second one I want to go over is Ecwid. Now Ecwid, I came across it because for me, I already have a web page of my own. Before I started, it just doesn't sell products on it. It's more of like my portfolio, my news, my up-to-date things, information about me, contact me, things like that. So I heard about Ecwid because it was suggested to me that if you already have a website and you don't want to build like a separate platform, then you may want to use Ecwid, which has a plugin on WordPress, which is what I have. It also has plugin for Wix and a lot of other platforms as well. For Ecwid, the first 10 products you put in is actually free. So if you don't have a lot of products and you just want to try out e-commerce, that might be something for you to consider. And then plans going up from there will be the venture, business, and so forth. And they range from $19 or like $30 a month. And they have added features. So for me, Ecwid was easy. I was looking online, it was pretty easy to plug in and just put into my WordPress. So it looks more cohesive as everything is on one website and people can click on my shop, learn about me, and then just have everything in one place. Now, the reason I did not go with Ecwid despite all these features and like the price is quite captivating is, number one, in order to have that plugin into my WordPress, I have to have a WordPress business account, which is around $300+ a year, which right now I'm on a free WordPress account, so I don't see really the big benefit of upgrading to business and getting Ecwid. The other thing is that if you're selling prints, which I am, or t-shirts or other things with different sizing and variation, you only get that option on Ecwid if you upgrade to a business plan. So if you're not on a business plan, you have to post a different item for every single one of those products. So business plans around at least, I think, $30 American per month. So with that said, it's pretty similar to Shopify, maybe a little bit more expensive too. But one giant bonus I forgot to mention is for Ecwid, they do not charge transaction fees or any percentage of whatever you'll be selling, which kind of is a bonus and something that I haven't seen a lot in a lot of e-commerce websites. So that's Ecwid. The last one I'm going to go over is Squarespace, and I've been hearing a lot about this from other artists, and I've seen some artists use it as well. The ultimate reason I did not go with Squarespace is that a lot of websites suggest, or blogs suggest, that like it's better more for e-portfolios and showcasing your artwork rather than e-commerce. And if you look at the pricing and fees, like I think you will get more features and more bang for your buck with Shopify. So with that said, that's my review of those 3 e-commerce websites. And from my point of view as an artist, and hopefully you will get some valuable information for it, because for me, I didn't want to waste a lot of time building a platform and then looking back and saying, oh, I should have done it on that platform, because it can use up a lot of valuable time. Would you rather create your artwork? So that's it. Ultimately, I did go with Shopify, and I've added a link from my WordPress page to my Shopify page. For Shopify, you do have the option of adding your own domain, and as well as like if you don't want to have your own domain name, like www.mynamesSharonLeung.ca, or you just want to keep it as it is, it will be whatever the name, your username is, SharonLeung.myshopify.com or something like that. So I will put a link to my store in my bio below, so you can check out a sample of my demo Shopify store, and if you want to consider shopping and checking out my artwork. But honestly, no pressure. I just want to show my work and show you guys what kind of information I have gathered so far on the internet, and what are some platforms I consider for e-commerce, and hopefully you'll take away with something that will be useful for you. If you need questions, comment, feel free to add them in the comment box below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.